Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Game Time. I'm Cooper Kelsey.
And I'm Caden Van Bagen.
This week we're going to dive into our three big games that we talked about last week and we kind of previewed over the weekend. There were some fantastic games.
Absolutely.
Then we're going to kind of give a breakdown of our top 10 teams in college football right now. That's it for this week. Let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Caden, biggest game of the week we'll save for the end.
Absolutely.
But LSU and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I was way wrong.
Yeah.
I was way wrong.
I told y'all, LSU's not it. LSU's not it this year.
No. I was very surprised at the way that Trinidad Chambliss played. 23 of 39 for 314 yards, a touchdown and a pick.
Yeah.
But overall, Ole Miss absolutely dominated this game.
Absolutely. They at halftime it was 17-7. So they were just full throttle the whole entire game. That puts Ole Miss up to 5-0. LSU's 4-1, and like you said, yeah, Trinidad Chambliss, also go to name, 314 passing yards. Absolutely won the quarterback battle this game against
for sure.
Garrett Nussmeier. Absolutely stellar gameplay from him. The way that he played, super well. Also had 71 rushing yards off 14 carries, so he was able to get a mix in between his passing and running. But just being able to throw 314 passing yards, and Kawan Lacey, running back, he had a low yards per carry, 23 carries, 87 yards, right? But he had that big touchdown to punch it in.
Yeah, he's still averaging 4 yards a carry though.
Really
4 yards a carry is 3 runs and he gets you a first down.
Super good. So being able to rely on Kawan Lacey to get those yards, when you need those 3-4 yards in the trenches, he can get it when you don't have to rely on Trinidad. But obviously Trinidad's a phenomenal quarterback, so you don't have to really rely on the run game so much when Trinidad's throwing the ball like that.
Absolutely. This final score does not show you how bad that LSU actually played. Their total offense, 256 to 484.
Absolutely insane.
Ole Miss did have 2 turnovers, but it just was outweighed. They had 28 first downs, and were 2 of 2 on fourth.
LSU had more penalties, 109 yards in penalties versus LSU 78 yards.
Yeah, but it was just an absolute domination by Ole Miss, and this rocketed them into the top 10. Actually into the top 6, I want to say.
They are number 4.
Yeah,
number 4, so the top 5.
Ole Miss and LSU swap spots.
Yeah.
So LSU's down to 13, Ole Miss is up to 4. I agree with that, especially the way that Lane Kiffin's offense has been running as of lately.
Where do you think? Actually, we'll get into that later. But where do you think Ole Miss being at 4? For the AP poll, I feel like it's hard when it gets the 4, 5, 6 spot.
The 4, 5, 6
so many,
spot.
Undefeated teams outside of Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, who I think are the designated 3 spots.
The crazy thing is, the top 10 of the AP poll right now is 4 Big Ten teams, an ACC team, and 5 SEC teams.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
could be wrong on that, but it goes
2 Big Ten, an ACC, 3 SEC, and then a Big Ten, SEC.
Yeah,
running up the top 10. So we have 1 ACC team in Miami, and then Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Indiana, and then the SEC teams go Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Texas, and then Bama.
Yeah, it's it's hard to figure out whether Ole Miss is better than all those teams that they just jumped.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think what's weighing this heavily right now is the fact that LSU's beat 2 ranked teams already.
Beating one which is Clemson, so it's kind of hard to put that as their resume. Is
right.
They beat that number 4 ranked all Clemson team in the beginning of the season. But I do think Ole Miss is a contender this year in the SEC. Do I think that they're the top dog in the SEC? Not right now. I mean, obviously they could have more to prove. Ole Miss goes on to play Wazoo. They have a bye week, so Wazoo next week on the 11th, and then they go Georgia, which is probably going to be a big game for them. It's in Athens, but that loss against Bama, but Georgia, they play against Georgia and then go straight to Oklahoma, which is without John Mateer, so it's going to be a little easier of a game unless John Mateer comes back in that time frame. But he is out for around 2 to 3 more weeks. So, and then they end off with South Carolina, who's not a horrible SEC team.
No,
I think they're a good SEC.
South Carolina has a gauntlet.
Yeah,
and it's just unfortunate.
Have you seen their ending?
Yeah,
it's really bad. The way to end it, I think it's just strife 5 straight ranked teams.
Yeah.
It goes LSU, Oklahoma, Bama, Ole Miss, A&M, and then end with Coastal and then Clemson. So I feel so bad for South Carolina.
South Carolina got screwed in scheduling this year. Not because South Carolina is not a bad SEC team.
No, not at all.
Not one bit. It's just the way that their schedule fell.
Yeah.
They have their easy games, and they've lost a couple close games. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to say 1 or 2 close games. I think another thing, not that FPI has anything to do with the AP poll. And if it does, then there's something wrong. Because Oregon should not be number 2. That should make Oregon number 1.
Yeah.
The FPI. Anyway, according to ESPN's College Football Power Index, Ole Miss has the 5th best strength of record. So I think that has a lot to say. LSU's strength of record is clear down at 17.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things playing in here. Their strength of schedule is 21.
Yeah.
And, it's just there's a lot of things playing into this as to why it could be where they're at. It's still hard to tell, but I think within these next couple of weeks we'll be able to know whether Ole Miss is the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah. What do you think about LSU this year? I've always said Garrett Nussmeier is not a great quarterback. I think he has good skill, but I just don't think I think he's overrated. The way that college football analysts and people have rated Garrett Nussmeier, I don't think that he is a good enough quarterback to lead the LSU team to a college football playoff berth. And it's hard because he threw 21 for 34, 1 touchdown, a pick, and only 197 passing yards. So the Ole Miss defense kind of had him on clamps that whole game. So it's just crazy to think that the way that he was rated. And I've always been super low on Garrett Nussmeier.
I was very high on him, but then again, they had yet to be tested.
Yeah.
They've only put up 20-plus points once or twice. And the teams they've played have been against Clemson, struggled against Florida. In 5 more pass attempts and 2 more completions, Trinidad Chambliss threw for almost double.
Exactly.
What Garrett Nussmeier threw for. So, I'm definitely not as high on him as I was before. Mm-hmm. Again, it's hard telling because of LSU's schedule. They're going to have a couple cakewalks, which is going to boost those stats up. But it's games like this where it's come on.
What I will say, though, is that their defense is the reason that they're, still ranked. Their defense is
holding into games.
Super good. They got star edge rusher / linebacker. He's kind of moving around. Harold Perkins, the way that he is, just the commander on that defense. And I think they have him at a, sort of linebacker coverage. Yeah. I honestly, he can play both ways. As both ways, I mean edge rusher or linebacker. He just has the ability to do both of those things. And I just think, and same with Whit Weeks and Zach Weeks, both brothers, number 40 and number 35. I think this defense is the reason that LSU is still in it.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to the second best game of the week.
Absolutely.
Kalen DeBoer, you are an absolute menace. Mm-hmm. Throwing Caden Proctor a bubble screen against the number 5 team in the country. That's just wild.
I mean, what are you going to do if you see a 300-pound person lined up in front of you? And it's a screen, so
run.
He has to get, what was it, 4 or 5 yards? Is that what it was?
It was 3rd and 4.
Yeah, so
or 3rd and 5.
4 yards, he's getting those 4 yards. Whether you have people crash into him or not, those legs are charting and he's getting those 4 yards. But honestly, I wasn't high on Bama at all. I that loss to Florida State. And honestly, again, seeing Florida State lose to Virginia on Friday,
that was
it's honestly just such a weird complex.
This week was weird.
The way it works, yeah.
Yeah.
You have Florida State beating Bama at the beginning of the season, right? Ty Simpson was a little slower, but he honestly picked it up. And I did say last episode it's going to be a quarterback battle. Whoever plays better quarterback skill is going to win the game.
Gunnar Stockton played trash.
He didn't play up to the standard that honestly any of us would like to see or Kirby Smart would like to see.
But then again, Georgia ran the ball a lot in this game, which is what they do. They had 227 rush yards, and Gunnar Stockton only threw 20 passes. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that Gunnar Stockton played bad. It's just not the production that you would want to see from a quarterback. Ty Simpson, I was listening right before this to Joel, and he was talking about how Alabama has rebounded since that FSU loss.
Absolutely,
it's not the same team that it was. Ty Simpson threw for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. No picks. Very, very clean game from Ty. And he was also able to add a couple. He added a touchdown on the ground as well. Ran for 12 yards on 4 carries. So he's trying to find that dual threat balance. Not necessarily like a Jalen Milroe that we saw.
Absolutely.
But he has the ability to get out of the pocket and make plays when he needs to.
I definitely think he's more of a pocket passer. As we've seen, he's
true Alabama pocket passer.
Like you said, he wasn't like a Jalen Milroe or like a Tua or like Jalen Hurts who likes to scramble.
Yeah.
They've had a bunch of people who like to scramble, but he stepped up. And I also wasn't high on Ty Simpson, but now watching the way that he played against this Bulldog team in Athens at night, like it was just a great show out for Ty Simpson, and it just raised like his athletic ability in my opinion. It honestly was a really, really fast first half.
It was
super fast first half. It was 24-14. Yeah, Bama was held scoreless
in the second
half. So honestly, like Georgia had a chance to win it when they have like no score, and then Georgia just isn't able to convert on these plays to be able to score.
Yeah, like that bubble screen to Caden Proctor in the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Alabama was already driving down the field. 3rd and 4, you got to go crazy at some point.
Exactly.
And so you're just trying to throw that to pick up your first down, and he rambled all the way down the 2-yard line, and then they were able to punch it in from there.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of risk taking that you have to take sometimes.
Especially in these type, not even like just a regular game, but like these type of games where it's like in Alabama versus Georgia, or like it's like SEC blue blood like gameplay where it's like two powerhouses playing against each other.
Yeah, and this was a really even game as far as total yardage, scores go. Time of possession was in favor of Bama, but they also outgained Georgia by 40 yards. But it was the one turnover from Georgia could be that key play, that happened. What was that, later in the game, or was it in the first half?
I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I just switched to just the Oregon game. I had multi-view on for a little bit.
That's how I was
too.
too.
They fumbled it in the second quarter.
Second quarter. Okay, so not necessarily
it was 14-7 at that point. So not like a big fumble at that point, and then it just went 17-7, and then Georgia scored, Bama scored, and then end of half it was 24-14.
Yeah, so it not a big necessarily the turnover was that big of a deal, but at the same time it's SEC football. You never know what you're going to get.
No, absolutely.
Definitely one of the better games of the week.
Yeah.
I think Georgia not dropping outside of the top, where are they, 12 now?
Yeah, they're 12.
They're 12. That's a very respectable spot for them to be, dropping 7 spots. Like, you can't move them. They're only outside of the top 10 because of the teams in front of them.
Exactly.
Like, Texas is in front, Indiana's in front, Texas Tech is in front. They deserve to be there.
You do?
I think Texas Tech deserves to be there, especially after the way they put a beat down on Utah. Mm-hmm. Utah was supposed to be a top 10 team this year.
Yeah.
And especially with
Devin Dampier
being
coming from New Mexico.
Preseason Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of game that, it's the situation of where they're at. Mm-hmm. Again, I would have liked to see what the polls look like and where they were in certain ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for sure. All right, guys. Game of the week.
Here it is. Game of the week.
This was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I think this was driving a lot of people nuts. If you're a true college football fan, we'll get to this point in the game later, but you should understand where we're coming from and why we were so frustrated in the moment. But whiteout, Penn State,
Oregon.
I
think, honestly, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible in this podcast. There might be some times where I'm not, but I'm going to try my best to be unbiased. I just think Oregon's defense held their running game. Absolutely. That was the reason that we won this game. We, as in Oregon. That was the reason Oregon won this game. Because Katron Allen was only held to 54 rushing yards off 12 carries. And I don't see where
Nick Singleton averaged 2 yards a carry.
Was it him or Katron that broke off that big run? I think
it was Katron.
It was Katron, yeah. He broke off those big runs, and I just think that the front seven was the reason Oregon won this game. Absolutely the reason Oregon won this game.
Yeah.
Oregon being able to establish the run with De'Ario Jr., Jordan Davison, Jalen Lamar, Noah Whittington. But, they played their freshmen so much this game. It almost confuses me why they played the freshmen so much. It did,
but at the same time, when you have depth at the position, why not use it?
Yeah.
You're keeping fresh legs on the field, which is something that Penn State doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Also, De'Aaron Hill was averaging 8 yards a carry.
Which,
so I would
why would you? Yeah. Penn State being at 139 rush yards, that's the number that is like, that's not normal.
Exactly, especially for this twin-headed dragon of a backfield they have between Nick Singleton and Katron Allen.
Yeah, and okay, can we talk about the composure of Dante Moore for a second? Like, wideout situation, they go in there. That is the most composed I've ever seen someone walk in there.
Yeah. What I also think is just because they were able to establish the run game.
Yeah,
and get Dante Moore to calm down and make the plays when he had to make the plays.
Yeah, like we talked about which front seven was going to be able to control the middle and establish the line of scrimmage. It was at one point in the game, like that first half was a defense. Like nobody wanted to score the first half.
I was stressing so much that first half. I was stressing the whole game. But going into the half and it being 3-3, I was like, dude, is this going to be a 10-3 score? Like,
that's what I was thinking. Like, we got in there, and I'm like, I literally said this was going to be 17-10.
Yeah.
And it was going to be in Penn State's favor. But then we go and score 14 unanswered to go into the fourth quarter, and I'm like, okay, it's wraps from there. Because I just didn't trust Drew Aller. But then again, I'll give him his props for a second.
That deep ball was good.
That deep ball was the Drew Aller deep ball that needs to happen more if Penn State's going to win more games.
Dylan Thieneman obviously messed up on that coverage. He just got beat on the inside on that. It was like a post corner. He jolted one way and then ran the other way. Like Dylan Thieneman just bit on the cut, and then Drew Aller just put up a dime piece.
It was a dime piece. Can we the number one thing that I have about this game that I was very frustrated with about the Ducks was the bubble screens.
Yeah, this is the point. This is the point where we go into like Duck fan mode and just talk about what Oregon did wrong and how they can get better at it. Because him and I were talking all game, like texting back and forth. Like,
if you guys,
the play calling of Will Stein, like, I wish I could go into Will Stein's head and like see what he's doing. Because I don't understand his thought process this game at all.
Especially like. We throw a tunnel screen on 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
That we need to get something over the middle to help open the field up. Yeah. And then, get it to 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, and then we can maybe throw that bubble screen. Yeah. But I don't support that at all.
I don't like throwing. This is what Will Stein always did. That's why Bo Nix was called a check down merchant. That's why Dylan Gabriel had that little bit of a title also. But Will Stein loves calling his check downs and bubble screens, but he needs to know that it's not going to work when this Penn State defense is just going to key on it all game. Yeah,
you throw what? I counted at least 10 different bubbles and tunnel screens that we threw, and it was becoming predictable. Mm-hmm. Reminding me of the Steelers offense when Matt Canada was. Mm-hmm. It's like first down pass, second down run, third down run, 3 and out. Yeah. I was like, why are we having all of this happen?
Yeah. But going back to Dante Moore, just talk about his stats real quick. You said he was cool, calm, collected, which is what we said we needed to happen if a quarterback wanted to win this game. They needed to be cool, calm, collected. He only missed 10 passes. He was 29 for 39, 3 tuds, and 248 passing yards, which I think is a phenomenal stat line for this
especially
redshirt freshman quarterback. Redshirt sophomore quarterback.
Redshirt sophomore, yeah. And Dante, 248 yards, if you, this is a SEC caliber game when you think about it. The Penn State defense is a heavyweight. Oregon's defense is a heavyweight.
Yeah.
2 heavyweight offenses from on the opposite sides of the spectrum.
Like passing versus running.
Passing versus running, absolutely. Exactly. So, the defensive stats, the secondary for Penn State in the first half was very good. Mm-hmm. It also could have been because Will Stein didn't want to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
But that's where the rushing game from Oregon really helped open up that second half. Jordan Davidson had our rushing touchdown, but it's still we ran the ball so well. We ran for 176 yards.
The way that our freshman, the Oregon Duck freshman, running backs were able to hit the hole, D'Ario, Jordan Davidson, it should make Duck fans excited for the next coming seasons.
Yes.
2 stellar running backs. I just wish, we've said this last podcast, I'll say it again, give Makai the ball. I don't understand.
Makai didn't get the ball.
I don't even think he went in the game. And, I feel bad for Makai Hughes. He transfers here. Everyone talks so highly of Makai Hughes. 4-star transfer from Tulane. Had a stellar season with Tulane. And, he just doesn't get the ball. They just feed these freshman people. Obviously, maybe Dan Lanning definitely knows what he's doing. But, Dan, put in Makai. I think against this Indiana team, you should play Makai and see what happens. Or even, the lower teams we play against, Wisco or Minnesota or Montana. Or
when we play Rutgers. Yeah.
I think you should play Mackay as like the starter and then transfer. Like,
just see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Oregon needs to fix the defense. The reason that the game was so close is because the defense just like
the defense got lazy in the second half after we went up 14.
Yep.
That's why Devontae Ross was able to slip through on that post corner. Again, beautiful ball by Drew Allen. Yeah. He couldn't have put that in a better place. And then
or even that fake toss jet sweep that got them to tie the game. Betcher just
Betcher bit on
way too much
on the read and just went on the outside. Nothing. It's something that can be fixed.
Absolutely,
though, which is okay.
Which can happen, and they got a bye week this week, so obviously I think it's a perfect bye week.
Yeah.
Right after this big game, they have a chance to rest their bodies, take those ice baths, get those massages, get the chiropractor in, and then be able to prepare for the because I think Indiana is a great program.
At home too.
Yeah, I think Indiana is a great program. But going on the Penn State side, run game was slow, like we talked about.
Run game was slow, but they really started to get established in the end.
Absolutely.
And I was in a group text with my uncle and my grandpa, and my uncle is like big on like quarterbacks need to run the ball and not get so scared and slide. And all my uncle wanted to say was like Penn State is killing Oregon on the inside. He said, if you would have watched Penn State play Oregon last year, Penn State
what was it, like 200, almost 300 rushing yards?
Almost 300 rushing yards. They held them to less than half of that. Yeah. So yes, it's because
also it's easy to know when like that when Drew Allen scrambles, it looks like it hurts when he runs.
Yeah,
like you know that he's not a big scrambler, and honestly, like it looked like he was a little like scared to like scramble out and run because you have like that big front seven, but. I just don't think Drew Allen is like. I mean, it sucks because he's like a junior, senior.
I think he's a senior.
Yeah, so like it sucks that like he is like the leader of this team, and like it's not his fault. I just don't think Penn State can win big games, but like that pick was just so like
deflating.
Deflating because like you run cover one, and Dylan Thieneman was covering the running back. So like they ran. I'm gonna try to put in the picture for people who don't watch the game. They ran like a wheel route, and then like the running back like. Moved outside, and Thieneman was supposed to go down and cover the running back, but like he like moved inside and like was watching.
He read Aller because he knew that he wanted to go to the deep ball, and then after he saw that it was double coverage, he went to the check down off the wheel.
Yeah, and Thieneman just sat there and like lurked and just absolutely just picked a great play from Thieneman. It sucks that like Drew Aller threw that. I am again not super high on Drew Aller, but it sucks that like. He's just in this position where he just can't win games like this.
Yeah. Okay, address the elephant in the room here. This is unbiased whether you are a true college football fan or you're supporting your team. That targeting call in overtime.
Yeah.
What's the hairline? Like I did not explain
when they were saying that, but also the defenseless player, he like just made a football move. Also sure, they didn't call it. We scored 2 plays later.
Yeah, like it didn't matter in the end.
It didn't matter then, but even I was with my friends and I was like, dude, that's targeting. Then Lane knew was targeting. Like, I don't understand what the difference between like this part of the helmet is versus like this part of the helmet. It's the same part of the helmet, and like Jaden Lamar was like falling down. He got like crushed.
That is the definition of a defenseless player in helmet to helmet contact. If you're trying to protect the player, he got bent backwards.
Yeah, I think targeting definitely needs to be changed. Obviously, Joel Klatt talked about this a lot, but like, the way that I think targeting should be changed is like it should be. Joel Klatt said this, but like it should be
2 elevations.
Where like you have that where that's like not necessarily targeting, but it's still like
forcible contact
to the head. So like that is a call where like he's not kicked out of the game.
No, it's a football play, but
like where you just can't spear the guy.
Yeah.
So I think that yes, was it like not targeting? Was it targeting? I think it was targeting. Like unbiased, they think it was targeting. Jalen Lamar's coming down. Guy just like absolutely smokes like the front of his helmet, but like I don't think you should be ejected for like a hit like that. I think a targeting where you're getting ejected is like if a quarterback sliding or if someone absolutely just like
or if it's leading with that crown towards
like just straight like diving in.
Yeah,
like he was moving his whole body and his head just like came down and hit him.
Yeah.
Every week, AP comes out with a top 25 poll, and first off, I'm just gonna read the top 10 poll, and then Koopa and I are gonna give our reactions, and then we're gonna give our own top 10 poll for you guys here. So we got. I'm just gonna go through AP's top 10. I said it a little bit in the previous part of the podcast, but we got Ohio State at the 1 spot, There's no reason to move them down. Oregon 2, Miami 3, Ole Miss 4, Oklahoma 5, Texas A&M 6, Penn State 7, Indiana 8, Texas 9, and Bama 10. So, I honestly, there's not much I like. I'm just gonna give my top 10, and then I'll talk about how what my thoughts behind it. So, I'll go honestly from 10 to 1. I actually do have Georgia in the 10th spot because I think it's a loss to a really good Bama team.
Yeah.
And I think Kirby Smart can get it changed, and it's an SEC battle, like we said, it's a clash. I think Georgia's still a top 10 team in the nation. The way that not Stetson Bennett. Gunnar Stockton needs to get some stuff changed,
right?
But they do run the ball very effectively, so I think putting them at 10 is a great spot. My 9 is Bama. Moving them, keeping them above Georgia. It honestly was kind of hard for me to put them in the top 10, just because of how they've played in the previous parts of the season against the FSU, who lost to Virginia. So it just mixes the resumes up and it just gets super confusing. But I do think if Ty Simpson can keep playing the way he's playing right now, then Bama is a top 10 team. Moving into the 8th spot, I do have Indiana. They've just been playing stellar football recently. Kurt Cignetti knows what he's doing on this Indiana team, and he's just playing so well. They absolute beating on Illinois, 63-10. So they just are playing phenomenal football, and there's no reason move them out of the top 10 where they were already at. So I think keeping them there is a good spot. And then I got OU in the 7th spot, so it's a little different than the ESPN AP poll. But the reason I have OU in the 7th spot lower down is because of John Mateer being out.
That's fair.
I think John Mateer being out is gonna completely change the way that this offense runs, and they're playing the Red River rivalry in 1 or 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And who knows if John Mateer is going to be back for that game. So John Mateer, if he's not back, then it's just going to be harder for this Oklahoma team to play football. Because I think he was definitely a Heisman favorite outside of the injury. Moving to the 6th spot, I got Penn State. They moved down from 3 over to 6, just flip-flopped Oregon and Penn State. Or not Oregon, because Oregon is in a different spot. But Penn State moves down to 6. Phenomenal football team, losing to a phenomenal other football team. They just got to fix... The run game was super good, all season. Run game.
It needs to be supported by Drew
Eller can sling the football. If he can sling the football, the way that he threw it on that deep ball to Ross on that double move, then I think Penn State will be fine this year. My 5 spot, I got A&M. I think Marcel Reed is a phenomenal quarterback. They've been playing amazing football recently, and I just think the games that they've won helped them out so much. Beating, I think it was Notre Dame that they beat, who Notre Dame is meh, when I watch them play, but they beat that Auburn team. Auburn's obviously an SEC team, a good football team. They're not a top tier SEC team, but they're a good football team. So we'll see how they play when they go against Florida and then Arkansas and LSU. Finish off the part of that season, and then Missouri. So I think A&M at the 5 spot's a good spot for them, especially with that young quarterback Marcel Reed, who honestly could be a Heisman hopeful in 1 year, this year, a year or two. So we'll see where he's at. 4 spot. This part was honestly kind of hard for me. Like I said before, the 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Even into the 7 was just so hard. I have Ole Miss in the 4 spot. Same as the AP poll. I just think that they played such phenomenal football. If Trinidad Chambliss plays that same way, they're definitely a contender in the SEC championship and the college football playoff.
SEC is going to be weird.
Definitely. Seeing Ole Miss and A&M above Bama and Georgia in my AP poll, or however is that in there too. It's just crazy seeing those two SEC teams, Bama, Georgia, are the SEC teams below Texas A&M and Ole Miss. It's just crazy to see it. And then Miami in 3 spot, no reason to move them.
Nope. They're on a bye this week.
Bye week, and I think if Carson Beck can keep playing the way he's playing, then they'll be perfectly fine. Oh, back to A&M. Their receiving core is also insane.
Yep.
Those 2 transfers, Craver and Concepcion, absolute beasts on the outside of the field, being able to bring in those deep balls. But yeah, Miami 3 spot, no reason to move them. I do have Oregon in my 2 spot. Part of me wanted to put them in the 1, obviously.
You can't, though.
I can't. Oregon, I think that they have a phenomenal football team, the way they swing the ball. Dante Moore, quarterback, amazing receiving core. Fixed up those things on defense, and we'll be good. It's honestly kind of hard because the rest of the season is Indiana and then a bunch of just cupcake games up until the Washington game. But yeah, I have Oregon in the 2 spot, and then OSU in my 1 spot. They've just walked by this week, been playing their way that they play football is just so quick and fast. Like, they're just picking it up over and over and over again, and they just keep moving, like, at their speed. So I think OSU is just, like, the unanimous one. So my top 10 for this week's Week 5, Week 6 college football is Ohio State at 1, Oregon at 2, Miami at 3, Ole Miss at 4, Texas A&M at 5, Penn State at 6, Oklahoma at 7, Indiana at 8, Bama at 9, and Georgia at 10.
Yeah, mine's gonna be a little bit different. Texas is out of my top 10. I have not seen enough. Did you have Texas in there?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I don't see enough in that. Unless Arch Manning, like we talked about, unless he can play better, I don't see Texas in the top 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 1 to 10, just because it'll kind of change it up a little bit. My top 3 are the same.
Yep.
Ohio State, Oregon, Miami. You can't really argue with the way, especially after the way Oregon played on Saturday. Ohio State it looks like they're not running very fast, but they are the fastest team in college football right now.
Yeah.
You know, they allowed 6 points to Washington on Saturday.
One of the best offenses.
Second highest scoring offense. And their efficiencies are pretty darn good. They have the third best efficiency behind Oregon and Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very hard to move them down until they get to that Michigan game. I don't think they lose.
Yeah.
The only other chance they have to lose is against Penn State, but there's a lot of questions to be filled before that game.
Absolutely.
Oregon at 2, don't really need to explain that much. We kind of talked about that already.
We talked about Oregon a lot today.
I like the way that they're looking. Dante Moore is fantastic. Miami at 3, again, they were on a bye. They've got FSU this week.
Yeah.
It's a shame they're not going to there for college game day.
Which is weird, because I was looking at it and I was like, well.
They chose Vandy Bama, but it's SEC, blah, blah, blah. Carson Beck still looks good. I was very low on Carson Beck. He has shown me otherwise. At my 4, I have A&M. I have A&M at 4. Marcel Reed has been fantastic. The way that they are slinging the ball. Offensively, they can win a game, and defensively, they can win a game. The only reason Auburn scored and made the score as close as it was because it was a turnover at the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason they went into South Bend and put up 45 points. That's my number 4. Number 5 for me is Oklahoma. I still think, even with John Mateer being out, they have the weapons that they need to survive without him. And as soon as he comes back, he's just going to make that team better.
Yeah.
Number 6 for me, 5 is Ole Miss, 6 is Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay.
Ole Miss at 5, especially Trinidad Chambliss and the way that he came alive this game. Kawan Tracy, he's helping that and supporting Trinidad Chambliss. I think Lane Kiffin's got some good stuff down there. The defense has been playing really well. Again, they have kind of a cupcake schedule for the rest of the year, but at the same time, it's SEC football.
Exactly.
And they're extremely good. Again, so it'll be Ole Miss at 5, Oklahoma at 6.
Yep.
And then my number 7 is going to be Indiana. I think what I've seen from Kurt Signetti and the Indiana offense, being able to go into Iowa where top 10 teams go to die.
Yep.
If you know, you know. And being able to walk out of there in a defensive slugfest and still maintain, the poise, I think what they're doing is special. He's proved to us that last year was not a fluke.
Yeah.
They've won. They're the second best team in the Big Ten over the last 2 years behind Oregon.
Yeah.
They're 11-1.
Yeah.
But that's extremely good. Number 8 for me is going to be Bama. I think that Bama is a very, very good team. Ty Simpson has shown he's grown a lot, and the run game has been there to support at times, but Ty Simpson's really grown, and he's able to bounce back from that Florida State loss.
Yep.
The versatility, the Bama defense is the Bama defense. Also, I like Bama's resume. Not the resume. They're the number 3 team in FPI.
Yep.
Bama's always up there. They had that one loss that's kind of bringing them down. I still think they're an extremely good team. My number, what was that, 8? So number 9 for me is, oh crap, I left. Did I say Penn State already? I did not say Penn State. Penn State's going to be at 9. My 10's going to be controversial, but Penn State is going to be at 9. Drew Aller, they have a chance to move up. The run game's there. Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, are still going to dominate that game. If Drew Aller can come along and start throwing the ball downfield, if Andy Kotelnicki gives Drew Aller a chance to throw the ball down the field just like Will Stein would for Dante Moore, I think Penn State has a chance to do some special things. The defense still looks good. The defense should be fairly scotch-free, but I think until I see something more, I can't move them higher than 9.
Yeah.
10 is going to be Texas Tech. I'm leaving Georgia out. I still am not high on Gunnar Stockton. Yes, Georgia is more of a run-heavy team, but you got to be able to throw the ball. Exactly. And Gunnar Stockton has not proven that he can throw the ball consistently and accurately. But Texas Tech, the way that they were able to play on Saturday, they were off on a bye. But after the Utah win, they had Will Hammond come in for their starting quarterback who went down, and Desmond Dampier was a preseason top 10 Heisman candidate, and they went in there and absolutely throttled.
Yeah, Utah. Definitely a bad offensive shot for Devin Dampier.
Yeah, and then Devin Dampier comes back and they throttle West Virginia. Yeah. So it's nothing having to do with Utah. I just like the way Texas Tech is playing. Their efficiencies are through the roof. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech is the second most efficient team. Their offensive efficiency is the 24th best, but their defensive efficiency is the number 1. They're able to move the ball well and hold the ball well on defense. They have the best resume, or 9th best resume, excuse me. Yeah. Their strength of schedule is pretty good. They've played, Utah, and then their remaining games, unless Rocco Becht and Iowa State decide what they're going to do, I think Texas Tech wins the Big 12. Their remaining schedule is Houston, Kansas, ASU, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, BYU, UCF, and West Virginia. There's a very real chance that they win out and they go 12-0.
Yeah.
The Arizona State game is going to be interesting. I think that's the one spot where
it's here in Tempe.
Here in Tempe. Okay. So I think that's going to be a good game to watch, but that's my top 10. So I have Ohio State at 1, Oregon at 2, Miami at 3. That was going to be a given. Number 4 for me is Texas A&M. Number 5 is Ole Miss. 6, Oklahoma. 7, Indiana. 8, Bama. 9, Penn State. 10, Texas Tech. Hopefully this can change for Penn State.
Yeah.
I'm kind of partial to them, not really, but I think there's definitely some chance to move up. Bama has been looking really good. If Oregon beats Penn State, Oregon beats Indiana handily next week, I think Indiana will drop outside. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Indiana is going to play a top 2 team.
Absolutely.
So it's just going to be interesting to see from there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this develop.
Me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Beyond Game Time. I'm Cooper Kelsey.
And I'm Kane Van Bagen.
I'm going to pray us out here, and we'll get you all on your way. Lord Jesus, I just thank you for this time together to talk about a sport we love, Lord. And thank you for this wonderful season of sports. We have MLB playoffs in full swing. We got football coming along. We're in the heart of the college football season, heart of the NFL season. We've got hockey starting back up in a couple of weeks. We just thank you for this opportunity to come before you and glorify your name and talk about something that we love. And we just ask that you would watch over us as we go throughout our week, Lord, and just bless us with some good sports games this week. We know that our competitive nature can get the best of us sometimes, but we know that, all in all, we want to honor you, Lord, and we thank you for that. And we just praise you for all the wonderful things you do for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, beyond.gametime. Catch us on YouTube at Beyond Game Time. Peace.